Hello friends, me again. And I know my hair's a little bit different, but that's okay. We change, don't we? Um, so I was praying about what to share today, and it's kind of windy out here, so please bear with me. But I like coming to you from my front porch. It's kind of where I sit and meditate and just talk to the Lord a lot of times. So as I was thinking today of what to share during this series that I'm giving during the month of Elul, I thought what I would do is share something that happened the very last day of Elul in 2010, just before Rosh Hashanah. And during that time, I had set through an intense study of the fall feasts, and was learning more and more about our ancient roots. Because let's face it, all the original Christians were Jews. And most of us in the church today do not have an understanding, a true biblical understanding of the things that the Jews lived with every single day that was just part of their DNA and their lives, which were also included in the early church. And over the years, things have changed, and we've gotten away and lost a lot of that rich heritage that was once just considered part of who we are. So I had been doing a big study on that. Plus, I had also, I think I've mentioned before that I had found out in my own personal ancestry, I do have Jewish heritage that I had learned about. And so studying more about the feast and learning more, I had felt a certain grief at what had been lost, because no one in my family was even aware of any of this. And so consequently never learned anything about it until just in recent times. So the open vision is occurring. I'm learning about the Jewish feasts and how Jesus is represented in those. The 3 fall feasts are the last 3 yet to be fulfilled. Jesus has already fulfilled the spring, and now we're coming upon the fall feasts, which are the ones to yet be fulfilled. And I'm not going to go into in depth on that. So I had just come off of this study. The open visions are still occurring that I'm having with the Lord. So this one morning, and it happened to be September 6, 2010, I was getting ready for my day. I had been in the bathroom getting dressed and just thinking about Jesus and all that was going on. You know, I was just consumed with him at this time. And the thought occurred to me that not only was I excited and rejoiced and happy to find out about my Jewish heritage and how he told me he was redeeming that and bringing me back to it. Not only was I thinking, had I come to the conclusion that I was rejoicing in it, but I realized I had embraced it. I had actually just taken it fully. And that morning, as that thought came to my mind, how I have embraced my heritage, I was walking from my bedroom to the living room, and all of a sudden, I felt him come up behind me, and he wrapped his arms around me, and he laid his head down on my shoulder, and he whispered into my ear. This is what he said: "I love to see your love for me and our family. Search out, for as you search, your love for me will grow and deepen, sustain you, and then pour out to the rest of my family. Seek after my brothers and sisters. Come together, and you will hasten the day when we can be together forever, face to face, heart to heart. No longer separated by time and space, but in the reality where the spirit and the physical are made into one." It was so powerful. It was so powerful to realize that this is his family, and he wants us to get to know his family. We are his family, and we are part of his family. And during this time, of the open vision, like I said, it went on for several days and weeks. And I experienced so much intimacy with him and so much joy. It's like a honeymoon. Now, don't misunderstand. I'm not talking about any weird stuff. I'm just talking about the intimacy that comes on a honeymoon, of where the husband and the wife, they get to actually know one another. But it's also kind of a cocoon in their own little private world of time of just enjoying one another and getting to know one another. And that was what this was. But I also, even through all of it, in the back of my mind, I had this sense of, okay, at some point this is going to change. I know it will. It has to. We can't live in that honeymoon phase. There is life to go on with. And sure enough, several weeks later, a few weeks later, I guess, I felt him start to tell me, okay, I want you to watch The Passion of the Christ. Now, that movie I had seen in the theater, and we bought the DVD, and I think I maybe had watched it once at home since then, and it's hard. It's difficult to watch. I, in the theater, was just crying and crying, and the lady, who I had no idea who she was, didn't know her from anybody, but during some of the roughest scenes, she had gripped my hand so tightly. It was just one of those things of when you see the suffering that Jesus, that Yeshua went through. So here I am in this intimate time of just being in love with Jesus and loving who he is, and for him, for himself, not just for what he's done, but for him, because of his goodness and his beauty and his love. Now he says, I want you to watch The Passion. And I'm like, Lord, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can sit and watch you go through this, even though I know it's a movie and it can't even, as horrible as it is, it still can't even come close to the actual suffering you really did. He said, no, you must watch it. You cannot know me unless you know all of me, because he is the loving bridegroom. He is the lover of our soul, but he's also the one who suffered horribly for us. He is our atonement. So I found there was a day when I was going to be alone for several hours. And I knew that was the time. So I got my tallit. God had gifted me as an answer to prayer. That's another story, with a tallit. And for you that don't know, that's the Jewish prayer shawl. And it represents the tent of meeting, a time of intimacy, of coming with the Lord. So I got my tallit and I put the movie in. And I had to stop the movie multiple times and get down in the floor on my face and just weep. Sorry. I got down on the floor and just wept in my tallit because of all that Jesus was suffering, that I was watching. But the thing is, here's this. If we focus on only one aspect of who Jesus is, then we're losing, because he is so much more. He is everything. He is King of Kings. He is the Lord of Lords. He's the suffering lamb that suffered, who was sacrificed and died on a cross. He is our bridegroom. He is the lover of our soul. He is our friend. He's our brother. He represents our eternal Father. He is all of those things. And if you really want to know him, you will have to come to know him in all those ways. And the best way to start that is to read his word, read who he is, and then ask him to show you, and let him reveal himself to you. Shalom, and I hope this has been a blessing to you. I look forward to sharing more with you later. Till then, bye.